Which branch of the military has the best food and which country has the best food/ration? 1. Air Force. 2. Italy. Italy. Our rations are literally cheap discount off-the-shelf food. Yeah, exactly. Your MOS will have a bigger impact on your diet than the branch you're in. PJs in the Air Force will be eating the same MREs and FOB slop that grunts in the Army and USMC eat. An administrative clerk in the Army will be eating better food than a Botswan mate in the Navy 90% of the time. From a purely military and logistical standpoint, the US military essentially stands alone. They have consistently blazed the path in shelf-stable rations, so much so that they even have fast food favorites like pizza. European rations are good, if not as well calibrated for optimal logistical utility. Feel free to get dysentery. Additionally, I somehow doubt 30-tier nations have matched World War II rations, much less rations from Vietnam or later. If they have serviceable rations, they are likely from an NGO, and NGOs are cowards in real war, not insurgencies. So eventually, many inadequately prepared militaries will rely on consumer goods, and God forbid, goods looted, stolen from locals. Additionally, this raises a better question. How do soldiers deal with the constipation caused by combat rations? All the sodium must plug them up, so water is a must. The soldier can only operate as long as he can sustain himself, disregarding morale, otherwise he will either surrender or die. If an attacking, or especially defending, opponent is facing serious attack, stalling and trickery would be well worth it. It would be a circus act to keep enemy soldiers off the main networks. My great-grandfather was conscripted into the German army and stuck in from mid to late war on the Western Front. The one thing he complained about was the late war rations and the ungodly gut pain they caused. The simple answer is, they just suffered with it until they were bumped off or captured. My great-gramps got his finger shot off near Kiev and sent home. When things went dire, he was recalled and sent with the army to fight the Hurtgen. He fucking hated the rations and couldn't stand eating them. He didn't want to die of the shits, so he lost the squad comm satchel and was thrown in jail for that. When French soldiers captured him, they didn't believe him. Only when he showed where he dumped the satchel and gave them a bite of the rations, they let him go with 3 bottles of beer and some bacon as a farewell present. Canada surprisingly has pretty good ones. My experience with Italian food and herbal was pasta with meat sauce and fresh bread. We considered it amazing mostly because we hadn't fresh bread in ages. The pasta and meat sauce really wasn't anything special in hindsight, probably just one step above the pasta and meat sauce our chow hall served when they served it. Although we rarely ate daylight rations and instead got stuck with whatever slop was left over at midnight. They didn't have AC in their tents, so we were happy to go back to our camp that did. Aren't other countries basically cheating with their rations when they're just canned goods that you have to cook with a camp stove or something? Obviously, you can get pretty decent food if you're willing to haul around cans of Campbell's Chunky or whatever. Most countries do that, but tend to have US-like rations as well for special cases. Having an actual MRE made specially for all armed forces is not economical unless you're the US or China.
Play a bugle like you never heard before. That's the natural that you want to go to war. That's just the bestest band, what am Honey Land. Come on along, let me take you.